Morgen, mein Name ist Klaus Melter von der Hochschule Bielefeld, auch Mitarbeiter von Entschieden gegen Rassismus und Diskriminierung in Bielefeld, dem Verein. Und ich möchte heute über den Genozid, den die Deutschen verübt haben, in Tansania sprechen. I would like to talk about the genocide which committed the Germans against the members of the Majimaji Movement from 1905 to 1907 in Tanzania. And there are some works, scientific works about the themes, especially in the last years, after not having been mentioned for decades, for hundreds of years. And one important publication is from Jan Sangal and Mr. Mboro, and they wrote their dissertation, and they also created a homepage remembering the dismembered memory of colonial violence and the repatriation of ancestors. And they also show how in Tanzania there is widespread memory of this genocide, and it's part of the lectures in schools and university, and there are official memory days. And here they show some pictures. And on this homepage, you also can find many informations about the different persons who took part in this activities, and also in the past time of the Majimaji War. I have the honor to work together with Dr. Sakina Faro and Dr. Shalzanane from Tanzania, who gave many informations about the Majimaji War, about questions of repatriation. And I'm very thankful for the significant information, the text, your film, and all the inspirations. The film you, Dr. Sakina Faro, and you, Dr. Shalzanane, have created about the Majimaji War is called Majimaji War Memory, Memorial and Memorialization Documentary Film Premiere this year, 2025. And there is also one book you edited, German Roots and Socioeconomic Patterns in Tanzania. And this book is real important because there are not so many books about the theme, about the Majimaji War in detail. And this is an important next step in this time. You, Dr. Sakina Faro and Dr. Shalzanane, have demonstrated in detail that and how the Germans carried out genocide against the followers of the Majimaji movement, the role of heroines in the Majimaji War, and the responsibility to bring back human remains, animal remains, and cultural and religious objects, which are still, especially in Berlin and other archives in other cities. And I really personally, and also as academic and German, I would like to express my shame about the oppression, violence, and genocide that my ancestors from Germany committed in Tanzania. It is also very shameful that no government in Germany has yet acknowledged the fact that the genocide was carried out in Tanzania in an official Bundestag resolution. No governmental apology has been issued concerning the genocide, and no reparations have been paid. The stolen bones and skulls of murdered people in Tanzania, animal remains, as well as stolen works of art, must be suddenly brought back to Tanzania from Germany immediately and with dignity. In academia and civil society too, we can and must first begin to deal more intensively with the violence and the genocide perpetrated by Germans in Tanzania. And therefore, your film and also your texts are very important to get more knowledge about it. Aspects of German colonization, oppression, and genocide in Tanzania. In German schools and university, the German colonial time is not introduced very well. And so I would like to show some aspects of the frame of German colonization. In Tanzania, since the 14th century, the interactions between local and foreign people, Persian and Arab people, and which dominated the Tanzanian people by the practice of to convert the local people to Islam, to get into economic dominance and to enslave local people. One important aspect in Tanzanian German history is that 1884, 1885, European leaders were at the Berlin Conference, where they decided, European leaders under the chair of Bismarck, German Reichskanzler, so-called, where they decided the European countries will oppress, dominate, exploit, and so-called civilize and rule different African countries, and they decided which part of the African countries they will oppress, which European country will oppress which African country. No African leader was part of the conference. The Berlin Conference was one foundation of German genocides in Namibia and Tanzania in the beginning of the 20th century. Since 1880, the German occupation of Tanzania, the Germans tried to get land, to get local sovereignty by installing military stations. They broke local resistance by punishing expeditions, cannonballs, and machine guns. They installed missionary stations to convert local people to Christianity, for example, the Bethel mission. The Germans fought against the Wahehe since the 1880s and against Tanzanian people in more than 200 small or big battles. From 1905 to 1907, the Majimaji Movement fought against German oppression, exploitation, and violence. The Germans killed up to 300,000 Tanzanian persons with machine guns, the practice of destroying and burning crop fields, forests and villages, and hanging people. They committed a genocide. In academia and civil society, we have to deal with this fact of historical violence and the question of genocide. One important issue is if we have and shall and must call the killing of 300,000 Tanzanian people during the Majimaji War genocide. And so we have to look at the definition of genocide in the United Nations Convention on Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide that was adopted in Paris, France on 9th of December 1948. And Article 1 of the convention declares that states party to it confirmed that genocide, whether committed in a time of peace or war, is a crime under international law, which they undertake to prevent and to punish. Article 2, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such. And now we can read the 5 aspects which together with the intent to kill, to destroy in whole or part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group, A, killing members of the group, B, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent birth within the group, E, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. The above definition was the result of a negotiation process and reflected the compromise reached amongst the UN member states. Killing members of the group, causing serious harm, inflicting, destructing group conditions of life, imposing measures to prevent birth, and transferring children. And both the intention and 4 of the 5 criteria applied to the Majimaji War can be proved are fulfilled during the Majimaji War. First, I also want to add one decision of the highest German High Court concerning the genocide in Rwanda, but it's also important for the genocide in Tanzania. The perpetrator of genocide requires the purposeful intention of the partial or complete destruction of a group protected by the provision, genocidal intent. An intention to commit genocide is also present if the intention of the perpetrator is aimed at the partial or complete destruction of the group in its social existence. Destruction is also intended if, from a perpetrator's point of view, it represents a necessary means of achieving a further purpose behind it. This means also if some dominating group has the means to get the dominance of a territory or to break the resistance, if then they kill a lot of people to get this aim, then we can speak of genocide. So let's speak about Majimaji War and the intention. The orders and practices of the Germans to destroy entire villages, fields and forests, and the murder of up to 300,000 Tanzanian people as part of the scorched earth policy are, it can be argued, and for me it is very clear that it's convincing, that there is clear evidence of the intention to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group as such. Germany has for 3 years has decided to destroy whole villages with their machine guns. They killed hundreds and thousands of people. So there was a clear and proved intention to kill a lot of people. And the other intentions, or first to the intention, we can also prove the intention by a letter of Captain Wangenheim to Governor von Götzen in Tanzania, 1905. In my view, only hunger and hardship can bring about final submission. Military actions alone will remain more or less blows in the water. The people will only give up their resistance completely when the existing food supplies are depleted, their homes are destroyed in repeated raids, and they are deprived of any possibility of recultivating their fields. Following another quote, it should no longer be about achieving peace, but rather about punishing the rebels. So, crawl to the cross unconditionally, or war to the point of destruction. He speaks of war of destruction, of Vernichtungskrieg, and that is clear. They wanted to destroy a part or whole of the Tanzanian people. Another quote. Fighters on all sides of the conflict tended not to only kill individual combatants, but entire villages. They destroyed food and crops to weaken support for their enemies, leaving civilians without any means to survive. It's also written from a German soldier to the government. Another proof is that physical harm was realized by the Germans by violence, executions, killing people with machine guns, destroying whole villages. So it's proved that the Germans tried to put physical harm to the people. To create life conditions which tend to destroy the living of the people. Sure, the destroying of villages, of fields, killing animals, destroying food is a situation in which they created living or better dying conditions where all the people should die. Also, it is clear that there will be a low birth rate because all people, also mothers, women, children, babies, they had no much food. They have to go away of the fire of the machine guns. For example, in Ulanger, there was every fourth of the surviving women was not yet able to get a baby. In this war, the undernurtured mothers couldn't feed their babies. The bringing of part of the babies or children to another group is not proved, but all other criteria were proved. So it is clear that first the intent to kill a part or the whole of the community of the Majimaji members and the Tanzanian people. There was an intent to kill them, to destroy them in part or total first, and then it's proved there was a killing of the members of the group, causing serious bodily and mental harm to the members of the group, deliberately inflicting the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent birth within the group. So it is totally clear that the intent and 4 or 5 criteria are proved, and we have to say it was genocide against the members of the Majimaji War. So it is our duty, people in universities in Germany, to cooperate with people from Tanzania, with the Tanzanian diaspora, the African diaspora in Germany, to cooperate with scientists, to read, to inform ourselves, to read the books which are yet published to this theme. And I really hope that we do another step, that we force the German government to say, to commit, it was a genocide which Germans have perpetrated in Tanzania from 1905 to 1907, and that we immediately and with dignity bring back all human remains, all animal remains, all cultural and religious objects, all art objects. And for sure, there also have to be paid reparations. And we still have a long way to go. We have started a little bit. The African communities in Berlin and other cities, and especially in Tanzania, have made scientific researches over years, over decades, and now it's our turn to do the next steps. Many thanks for listening. and have a good time. Many thanks.